With the huge success of both the first press event and the second, which saw many shock appearances, speculation is running high for who else may be added to the already 30 members of the All Elite Wrestling roster. With a big enough budget from the backing of the Khan family, it goes without saying that the company have their eyes peeled on which WWE Superstars they could turn into AEW Wrestlers. We're now only 4 months away from the first official show, that being Double or Nothing from the MGM Grand Arena. AEW is still going to need more stars on the roster in order to make their first show better than All In, and to create a different card for the highly rumoured successor to Double or Nothing, named All Out. It's safe to say that they're currently in the talks for signing some recently released and current WWE Superstars. Here are 14 more former and current WWE Superstars who are rumoured to sign with All Elite Wrestling. Number 1 and 2, The Revival. The possibility between Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson leaving WWE and jumping ship to AEW has been a hot subject ever since the company was first announced. Even without the reports from insiders, just from looking at how the pair have been used as of recent, it goes without saying that the two are not happy with their booking. Later, reports confirmed this, with Sean Ross of Fightful.com stating, "Was told yesterday morning that the Revival quit on the spot, but the terminology was phrased in such a way that I could hardly report that they'd formally asked for their release. Several wrestlers and employees confirmed that WWE didn't want to release them and hoped to fix things. They were reported to have asked for their release following yet another loss on Monday Night Raw. However, though the two may want to leave WWE, their contracts with Vince McMahon do not end up until April 2020, and WWE does not have to grant the two their releases, especially knowing that they would jump ship to their competitor." Number 3, Paige. Paige is among several WWE Superstars that have their contract finishing up this year. As a result, speculation on the next move for her career is circling around the wrestling world. The former Divas Champion and first ever NXT Women's Champion made her formal retirement following WrestleMania 34, and she's yet to compete since then. In a similar situation to Daniel Bryan, the WWE may be hesitant to allow her to wrestle again, in fear of her aggravating her previous neck injury. Perhaps an AEW jump may be on the horizon if Paige decides to head elsewhere. During an interview at the Royal Rumble Access, she gave a possible hint to her wrestling return. She mentioned, "Well, maybe. No one wants to watch me wrestle when I'm 60. Paige would serve well working under the management of Brandy Rose in the AEW Women's Division. That is, of course, if an in-ring return was a possibility, but much like the Daniel Bryan miracle, you can never say never in professional wrestling." Number 4, Jim Ross. Though he isn't technically signed with WWE, he is often named the best commentator of all time, and has become synonymous with the company. Jim Ross is currently rumoured to be heavily involved in AEW, according to Roger.com. His signing could be similar to the likes of Chris Jericho, still allowing him to appear on specific dates for New Japan Pro Wrestling. To have someone like Jim Ross working backstage, and/or as a commentator, AEW would be setting themselves up for elite levels of success in the industry. Number 5, Dean Ambrose. A popular subject as of recent in the professional wrestling world is the current status of Dean Ambrose with WWE. Mutters that he would be leaving the company began to be thrown around, in which WWE would quickly confirm them as true. They even went as far as to release a statement on their website, mentioning, "Dean Ambrose, Jonathan Good, will not be renewing his contract with WWE when it expires in April. We are grateful and appreciative of all that Dean has given to WWE and our fans. We wish him well and hope that one day Dean will return to WWE." Due to the fact that the company went as far as to speak about it publicly, many are speculating on if this is part of a storyline, or he will leave the company entirely. Whatever the case, it's safe to say that the news came as a surprise, given the last few months of Ambrose's career. The man would make a shocking heel turn shortly after his return, which most expected to be a massive step in his career, especially since he became Intercontinental Champion, entering a lengthy feud with Rollins. Though not only was the feud lackluster, but Ambrose was never behind it, and was ultimately disappointed with his role in the company. During the Chronicle episode, which circled around the Lunatic's return, and featured a mix of reality and kayfabe, Ambrose went as far as to say, "You know nights like tonight, typical crap. I don't know why I bothered coming back. Why I worked my ass off just to be everybody's Joker. I am not fulfilled. So much stuff I think about that would be awesome to do, and 3 hours on Monday Night Raw, and just backup bodyguard duty. I can't just have creative freedom to do what I want to do. If he were to head over to All Elite Wrestling, he would definitely have just that." Number 6, Renee Young. A scenario which could take place could see the wife of Dean Ambrose, Renee Young, head over to All Elite Wrestling, working in a similar role to what she currently works as in WWE. However, Renee has recently been given a huge raise in her job, being given the opportunity to work as the first ever regular female commentator, which is a big step up from the years that she spent as a backstage interviewer. This ultimately means that it's more than likely that she wouldn't head elsewhere right away. If she were to swap to All Elite Wrestling though, it's probable that it would be as a result of Ambrose being a top AEW star, alongside being offered a role as a commentator and or a backstage interviewer, and being offered an improved money-wise contract. Number 7. Jack Swagger. The former World Heavyweight Champion of WWE recently made his MMA debut over in Bellator in an incredible fashion, and following that he went over to the Jim Ross Report podcast, where he would show interest, mentioning, "I feel like it's changing the landscape of professional wrestling. It's providing competition. I know, Jim, you're like me. I believe competition makes everyone better. So this is great for pro wrestlers. This is great for the boys in the back. It gives them some place to go, it gives them leverage. And it's great for pro wrestling fans. It gives them different styles and shows the different artistic ways in which we can tell stories. I can't put a finger on how guys like Kenny Omega, guys like the Young Bucks, guys like Cody, over the last 2 years, have just become red hot and generated so much momentum. They're just doing the right things at the right times and really making it a great time to be a pro wrestler." He also claimed that he was in talks with Cody about possibly being signed in the near future, mentioning, "I've kind of had my nose in the training camp since September, so I haven't talked with them about it too much, but here and there, I'll be talking with Cody and I can't help but bring it up." Though a signing doesn't look to be in the works just yet, it's more than likely that we could see Jake Hager or WWE's Jack Swagger head to All Elite Wrestling in the near future, making more than a handful of appearances once he is satisfied enough with his MMA career. The schedule is highly accommodating for Jack, which could be one of the highest factors that make the man decide to start making appearances in AEW. He also mentioned, "Honestly Jim, I'm happier than I ever have. I'm home more with my kids and my family. I love being a dad. I love being a family man." Number 8. Hideo Itami. From being a beloved indie star to a top NXT star to just another cruiserweight, Hideo has recently gone through it all. The man is incredibly talented in the squared circle and deserves a shot in a company in which he could reach his prime and perform on an elite level, hence why they granted his request for release within an instant. That and the obvious money that it was costing them. Countless professional wrestlers would show their support on social media, and you can't help but wonder whether a debut could be seen in All Elite Wrestling. A potential signing could be in the works, if not now, then very shortly. Number 9 and 10, the Usos. As seen at the recent Double or Nothing ticket announcement party, it's evident that the company are highly focusing on building up a solid tag team division. Things are already heating up. Just take a look at that power driver on the stage in an unexpected appearance of the Lucha Brothers. We've already spoken about the possible move for Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in a similar video, as well as the revival earlier, but potential transition for the Usos could also be seen within the next year or so. In fact, Fightful.com reported, "Our sources backstage within WWE tell Fightful that the Usos have not re-signed with the company as of yet, and there is fear internally that they may be riding out their contracts. With several wrestlers leaving and asking for their releases over the past couple of months, WWE is hoping to go ahead and has been prioritising re-signing talent. We haven't been told if the Usos are among those. Phrasing on this is important, as we've not yet been told there's any intent to leave, just that they haven't resigned and WWE hopes that they will. With the additions of the Good Brothers, the Revival and the Usos, AEW would have the potential to form the best professional wrestling tag team division to date." Number 11, Randy Orton. Recent rumours have come to light that the 13-time WWE and World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton could be seen over in All Elite Wrestling within a handful of years. Initially, reputable source WrestleVotes tweeted, "Seems like the first real shot has been fired. Source says AEW has made an outstanding offer to a current big-time WWE superstar. An offer that is almost too good to turn down. Things are really about to get interesting." They later mentioned, "I'm not releasing the name, stop asking." However, Sean Ross of Fightful.com would go on to give more in-depth details of this offer, claiming, "Now, they did not reveal the name and I know who the name is. Now, before I get into this, I'm not saying that this person was offered an AEW deal. I'm not saying that happened because I don't know if that happened. In fact, I asked people in AEW about this and I was told, we are not tampering. We are not doing that. Our approach is fresh, and independent is the goal of a majority of our recruitment. What you're likely seeing is a particular agent trying to leverage more money out of WWE. What I was told was that Randy Orton has been openly discussing his willingness to speak with All Elite Wrestling. Following this up, WrestleVotes would confirm this was who they was talking about, tweeting an image of the Viper. Though the speculation is that Randy Orton is just trying to get a better deal, on the slight chance that this wasn't the case, a loss on behalf of WWE would be catastrophic, and it's sure that they would try their absolute best in order to not let go one of their top stars that have become synonymous with the company. At this point though, whether the Viper will sliver his way to AEW remains unseen. Number 12, Finn Balor. Now we have previously stated in an earlier video that Finn Balor could be one of the many potential signings in the near future for All Elite Wrestling, with WWE booking him highly, with the hope of his mood with the company improving. However, more speculation has appeared, with Finn Balor now tweeting some pretty interesting images. Initially, he tweeted an image of himself with shocking AEW signing Chris Jericho. The following day, he also tweeted an image of himself with recent signing Pac, also known as Neville in WWE. However, it's more than likely that he is just having some fun until a WWE individual tells him to stop. Number 13, Tye Dillinger. The departure of Tye Dillinger from WWE and potential signing to All Elite Wrestling was previously discussed, but nothing more than speculation. But with recent reports coming from the man himself, it's safe to say that he is not happy with his current position on the main roster. In fact, he actually publicly mentioned this, stating that he would rather be still an NXT superstar. When replying to a tweet, a fan asked, "Would you go back to NXT if it were possible?" In which Tye responded, "Tried." However, things have escalated immensely within the past 48 hours, with Dillinger announcing that he has made the request to be released from his current contract. He tweeted, "Before rumours begin to spread, let me set things straight ahead of time. This evening I requested my release from WWE. In the past 5.5 years with them, I have seen and done some wonderful things. Things that I'm very proud of, and I will never forget. I've met and I've worked with unquestionably some of the greatest talent on this earth, and the pleasure has been all mine. I feel at this time this decision, as extremely difficult as it was, is what is best for myself and WWE. I wish to continue to grow as a performer, and offer those paying hard-earned money to watch a show I'm performing on, a little more of myself, to the male and female locker rooms, coaches and producers, to the production ring crew, all the way up to the very top of WWE, and most of all, the fans. I wish you all the very best and thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything." A handful of WWE individuals would respond to Tye, alongside multiple independent wrestlers, including one of the 4 vice presidents of All Elite Wrestling, Cody. Rhodes would go on to reply, "Fearless. I can't wait to see what you do next. I wish you all the happiness in the world, old friend. Don't settle." And number 14, The Undertaker. The Phenom has had accolade after accolade in the WWE, not to mention his 21 consecutive WrestleMania victories. Therefore, it may be, and well, is ludicrous to think of a possibility for the dead man to make a jump to All Elite Wrestling. However, recent rumours and speculation has been building up, leading to a few fans seeing this as a possibility, maybe just for a one-off appearance. Recently, Undertaker has removed every and any reference of the WWE from all of his social media accounts. Not to mention that Dave Meltzer also confirmed that The Undertaker is not signed with World Wrestling Entertainment anymore, and he's free to go and do whatever he wants. If that's not enough though, take into account that The Undertaker has been confirmed to appear on an All Elite Wrestling based convention, that being the 2nd edition of Starrcast, where he is advertised to appear under his real name, Mark Calloway. Not only this, but Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter also made recent claims that for the first time in over 2 decades, the dead man will not be in presence on the Showcase of the Immortals, that being WrestleMania 35. Sure, it's a 99% chance that The Undertaker will not be making an appearance on AEW's brand, but as history proves, you can never say never in professional wrestling. Well, that's it for this one. Why not be the guy that helps out massively by dropping a big thumbs up? And remember, you can even join the now 10,000 members of the club by clicking that subscribe button down below. In the meantime though, here are some other videos that we've done, and we'll see you in the next one.